It's like, I don't have an intro. Hello, how's it going? Cheers.
Do they do that in the tea culture?
Absolutely not. It's really frowned upon. Yeah, you have all this nice ceramics and you ding them against each other. How's it going, guys? Oh man, it's good, right?
Trying to compete to see who can slurp.
You have to.
Do they really?
You gotta slurp. It tastes better and it cools it down.
How'd we get here?
How did we get here? All right, so only 7 people so far.
It is Sunday.
It's always scary to me when people don't show up. In the beginning, I'm like, maybe I'm just talking to myself.
No, they
Oh gosh, the person's name I can't pronounce. Marcher. How's that?
Oh, pretty good.
Marcher, right?
Marger.
No, see, that's what I did.
I'm saying as white Walmart as possible.
It's a mistake. Marcher.
Marger Brochure. I love the cool names.
First one on there. Dude, I think I'm good at pronouncing names. Everybody on here has weird names, except for this one. Noah. Noah, that's a real weird
God,
name.
that guy's so good looking. Is it weird that guy's so... Oh, George Chu!
This is like the good looking Noah here.
Yeah. I've never been an ugly Noah. You know that? Name one ugly Noah.
Name one ugly Noah. I guess I don't really know him.
George Chu in the house.
George Chu. He's on yours too, right?
I've seen George before.
Yeah. Ooh, Lenka, she's here every week too.
Is she?
Nice, yeah.
You think they're drinking tea?
Okay, see, I did it right. So, dude, the first one I did, everybody was drinking tea. Is anyone drinking tea today? What's up, Michael? Oh. I think he was here last week too, actually.
Dude, all these people.
I know, dude, they really are awesome.
So they're so cool.
So, here with my good friend, Hawaiian brother, Noah Kagan. He's the one, he's drinking tea. Gotta have
He wasn't drinking tea, yeah.
English breakfast.
I was trying to get Tynan to drink Lipton. He doesn't want the good stuff.
Yeah, I can't afford it.
It's the Queen's tea.
That's right, that's what she would drink. So, what's up, Vince? Do you know Vince?
Mm-mm.
He's been reading my blog forever. Like, I remember his name from like way back in the day. I think.
So
He
cool.
can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so. That's one of the most fun parts about this for me is I get to see these people who like, now I don't have comments.
Yeah.
I used to see these people all the time. So I think probably everybody knows who Noah is, but
A few.
probably everybody. I talk about you enough.
I talk about you a lot.
Good. Well, that's why I like your podcast. I look at it, I'm like, talk about you. Oh, hold on, I'm getting distracted here. He's got a wooden bow tie. That's too small for me to see here. Look at that. Noah looks more relaxed than usual. Oh, no, Noah, look at this. Drinking Jiao Zhou tea, number 310.
Is that Budapest?
That's Budapest Jiao Zhou.
Oh, what do you mean? Is he in Budapest?
I don't think so.
Bow ties are cool. Bow ties are really underrated.
What is 310? Which one is that? Drinking soup? Oh, dinner. Okay. That's a cool thing. People were like, "Oh, it's so smart that you scheduled this so European people could tune into it." It's like a total accident. But I actually have a lot of readers in Europe, so it's kind of cool.
We did a Zoom call like 2 weeks ago with some of the people from my YouTube channel, and it was awesome. I was like, "Oh my god, you're real people."
It's weird, right?
I think they were like, "What do you mean we're real?" I'm like, "You're real." They're super. I don't know. It's
You just go from a name to like a person.
100%. Well, like we just see these little profiles, so like Hannah and Noah, and like, but then like Noah's got a story, and he's got a wife. What do you think Noah's story is? Or
Marcher.
Marger. She's probably like a woodworker.
Marcher.
Yeah. You think she's like a woodworker?
Probably makes those little Dutch shoes, I would guess, the Dutch clogs. It's the kind of name that would do that, right?
But on the side, she would make some like famous,
It's like a
Swedish dish.
I like how we're like that's a European name. I think it's like from Holland.
Holland's cool. I was just thinking Norway's like on my short list.
Norway's not Holland.
No. I'm okay. I will say, as a stupid American, Dutch in Amsterdam,
It's a little
and
tricky.
in Holland. It's in Holland.
Yeah,
It's in
Holland,
yeah.
Dutch, Amsterdam. It's a little much. Dang, it's kind of in Chicago. Himalayan green Shiba. I don't think I've had that one. This is what happens. I get outdone the tea. Too busy with the windmill to bother with clomping. When I was born, my aunt had custom Dutch clogs made with my name on them, Tynan. And, tiny little wooden clogs. And then I met another Tynan, and I was so excited I gave her one. I'm like, look, you have a shoe with your name on it now. Because when you're a Tynan, you can't get like a keychain with your name or like any of that, license plate. And my mom was so upset that I gave it away.
Why'd you give it away?
Because I just thought it'd be cool. I'm like, there's a shared experience of being a Tynan that you don't get stuff with your name on it.
Have you ever met a Tynan?
That's what I'm saying. I met this girl Tynan.
Oh, sorry, I zoned out for that.
Yeah, it's girl Tynan.
Oh, where was the girl Tynan?
In Austin. And we had friends in common and stuff. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something. I met a guy named Caleb Noah, and if we got married,
it's almost worth it. Noah. How convenient would that be to fill out stuff?
Funny, dude. I was on Hinge a month ago in Utah, and I met this girl. Her name was Kagan. So we got married. Her first name was Kagan, and I was like, we should get married so you could be a Kagan.
And then she gets to deal with it.
Yeah, I honestly was really
good.
How was the other time?
She's awesome. She's an opera singer. She was in Phantom of the Opera. I got to go see it and go behind the scenes with her. Super cool. And I met her on New Year's Day because we both happened to be in Austin then. And for a few years, I hung out with her every New Year's. It was kind of like our little tradition. Yeah, it was cool. Look who's here.
Oh, Fatima, dude.
VIP of YouTube live streams.
Dude.
I think it's fair to say that.
It's VIP in general.
VIP in general. That's true too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pause.
It's true. Look at this. Been following Noah thanks to me. So finally, I feel like so many people follow me because of you. So it's good that somebody's going
to. You have awesome stuff to say. You just don't like marketing. So I like marketing all the cool things. I just basically try to take all the credit for all the cool things you do.
Right?
And then I tell people I learned it from Tynan.
This is why I'm happy to have you here, because I feel like some of the questions people ask me the most that I just have no idea. They're asked like business questions. I'm like, I would just not do it personally. I would just sit back and drink tea. So I feel like, oh, yeah, like that. Oh, whoops, wrong.
Dude.
Dieter's here too.
My spirit father.
What's up, Dieter? Good to see you.
Just office hours.
Wait, there wasn't one yesterday.
There was one Friday, actually. It didn't go out. Or I didn't get, I don't know, notifications were weird.
Okay.
How was my date with Kagan? She was in Utah, so I went back to Austin, and I was like, what didn't work out?
Wasn't meant to be, I guess. Alright, so I still got through my intro. Noah Kagan.
Oh.
I know, I always get distracted. Noah Kagan, one of my really good friends, marketing guru, expert. What else can I say about that?
That's pretty good.
Just one of my favorite people to hang out with. I feel like Noah and I have some of my favorite conversations.
Yeah.
Or with Noah. So.
I wouldn't even say favorite days.
Favorite days?
Conversation, and like yesterday was like
almost some gangster days.
That was almost a BDE. No, that was definitely a BDE. I think that been the best day ever.
So what do? We tell people what a best day ever is. So yesterday we woke up, had tea, then tacos. We had amazing tacos at Taco Stand. Then we went skiing, and the skiing. Actually, I'll tell this. Do you want to tell the story?
You can tell, dude.
So we drive an hour to go skiing in Vegas. I'm so excited to show it to Noah because I want to show him the other sides of Vegas. We get to the ski mountain. We go in, and Noah goes to buy his lift ticket, and they don't have skis for rent. And my wife and I are there. We have our skis and all this, and we're like, I guess we'll go like 1 or 2 runs, and then we'll just leave. Noah went around to the lodge, randomly asking people, and actually the first person he asked let him borrow his skis. So we got to go skiing together. It was really cool.
Shout out Big Vinny.
Big Vinny. How great would it be if Big Vinny was here? He's turns out he's like a reader of both of us. He's like, this is finally my opportunity.
Thank God. But that was, I would say one thing that I would always enjoy about Tynan. I think you always go for interesting stories in life. Like, all right, how do I make this more interesting? Or what can I do that'd be interesting? And so we get to the ski lodge. And how many people here that are watching, how many of y'all knew there was skiing in Las Vegas? Zero. I had really no idea until I saw your photos, which I didn't think you Photoshop. I can also see you doing it.
Not about Photoshop here.
But yeah, it was kind of cool. And then, so we get to the lodge and the rental place didn't have skis, and Tom was like, you should really ask someone until you find them. I don't know if you guys have skis. I know Marjorie, she loves skiing.
Marhair.
It's a he. Oh, it's a he?
It's a he.
Oh, my bad.
I think so. Maybe just back myself into corner. I think it's a guy.
But it's kind of interesting, like, what things create interesting stories. So that's memorable that we asked the person and found skis, and that guy wore his.
And he was just awesome. Big Vinny from New York. Shout out. And he was from the same place your dad was from.
Yeah,
right.
My stepfather.
Stepfather was from. That's pretty wild.
He's a dude. All right. Okay, audience. I think we should ask the audience, like, that name. No offense. Probably an awesome guy.
Probably. I mean, honestly, this is very like playing to the crowd, but I do feel like if somebody shows up to this, they're probably awesome. And the people who have showed up who I've actually met are awesome. I really don't like this guy's name, but I like him because he asks a lot of good questions. Gout from fried okra.
I don't like fried okra.
I hate okra.
Yeah.
The worst. I think that's probably why I don't like his name.
Do you know what
gout sounds gross?
Gout is strange.
And because you get gout from shellfish.
Is that what it is? Gout just doesn't sound good. Big Vinny.
Big Vinny.
Dude, do you want a true story why I hate okra? Not true, just story.
Only if it's not true.
It's a pretty wild story. So I won a Ford Fiesta. What that is?
No.
Yeah,
I was obsessed with Ford Fiestas.
Oh, really?
In college, yeah.
I won one in a contest. It was like an influencer contest from a few years ago. So I met like Timothy De La Ghetto and all these like famous YouTubers. I wasn't even that famous, but my friend ended up running the contest. And he's like, hey, if you enter, there's not a lot of tech people. Like, you probably win. So I got the Ford Fiesta. But anyways, each month we had to do a video with the Ford Fiesta. That was the only expectation.
Where is this Ford Fiesta?
I had to give it back after 6 months. You could get it, I think it was like 6 months or 12 months, but they pay for everything.
Okay.
So I had the Ford Fiesta. It was awesome. One of the contests was like, we did an Iron Chef, and the ingredient was okra. So it was all these dishes on okra. I did it at my friend Sasha's house in San Jose. I don't think I've eaten okra since, like intentionally.
It's just, the texture's gross.
It's
The
just
taste
gross.
is fine,
It's
but the
fine.
texture is just weird, man. Oh, we got some good ones coming in here. Good one to start.
How did we meet?
How did we meet?
I think it was Luke.
Through Luke Murray.
Well, I gotta give you credit. Tynan's famous. It's not that famous, but Tynan, I think you were the original like nomad. I think you were in Crossing the Chasm, you're always in the beginning, but early adopter. And like in the crypto stuff and like, you know, dating stuff and a lot of the tech stuff and like working nomad stuff. And so I knew of you and I was like, oh my God, this is Tynan. And I think Luke was like, yo, you know, I was like, yeah, I want to meet him. And then we met, I think, the first time at Taco Deli. I think we might have connected. I thought that was the first time.
Taco Deli. It's really weird. A lot of my good friends, I can't remember the first time we met. I remember the circumstances, but I don't remember anything about the actual first time we met.
I remember it because we were at, I think it was South by, or some event. Luke put us in touch. I was like, oh my God, it's Tynan. This is so crazy. And then I knew of you one way is that you were a pickup artist. And I was like, this guy is boring. This guy is so, looks why you're fine. I don't think you're like,
Look at this hair. I don't know.
My mom said,
yeah, his mom says I look unkempt. I mean, it's true.
And the beard trim.
Yeah, I do need a beard trim.
But I remember meeting him, and I was like, this is the famous pickup artist. I think I told Neville, I was like, that guy, I don't know who he's picking up.
Yeah. It's very common.
But that's like how you do it.
That's how you do it. There was an article about me in the UT, what XL magazine,
Okay.
in the Statesman, and this guy came out and like, he was so nice to me the whole time. I thought he was cool. And then you read the article, it's like, I saw this guy, he looked totally average. I thought this guy could like never pick up a girl. And then he walked up to somebody and the clouds parted. It was like this hilarious thing.
That's a good article.
Yeah, it was a really good article. I was on the cover of XL and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was pretty fun. So one thing about meeting Noah, about the blog, that's one of the things I like about the blog is I think I'm famous amongst people I would actually want to meet. And then I think like randos have never heard of me, or they've heard of the game, but they don't know it's me. So I find very often like you're definitely someone I knew about and wanted to meet, and like it's not surprising to me when I meet someone like you that like you've heard of me, which I think
That's
is a
cool.
fun thing.
I think that's cool for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, put yourself out there, and then whatever you're talking about will probably attract other types of people that are interested.
It's so valuable. Like the benefit I've gotten from my blog, like for sure there's some financial benefit for a lot of different things, but the real benefit is like that sort of stuff, like just meeting people and having like some sort of like calling card. But with Noah, we met in Austin first, and then I think you moved to San Francisco meeting, so we didn't really hang out.
Yeah.
And then I moved to San Francisco, and I think I even emailed you, and I'm like, hey, I'm moving. You're like, I'm moving back to Austin tomorrow. Like it was like I think we met once or something. And then I went, so we were like really distant acquaintances, I would say. And then I remember, I think we were at Taco Deli. You had some big group thing. You had a lot of people for something.
Yeah.
And I remember like saying to you, I was like, I really feel like we would be great friends if we hung out, and I've always felt that way. Do you remember that?
I don't know. I remember you saying that.
I remember saying that because I remember like I have a few people that I feel that way about, where I'm like, I just wish I could hang out with this person more because I could tell we'd be good friends. And I think you were like, oh yeah, I've always thought that too. And then we actually made an effort to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're good friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Big Vinay.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Great Thai restaurant in Vegas. Lotus was saying that, that's one place we didn't go this time.
We have not. But I mean, your food game is strong.
We can go to some good food stuff.
I mean, we had basically two options: Chipotle for everything,
which is a 10 out of 10 option. I mean, when that's your Noah's been giving me crap because apparently I say 10 out of 10 all the time.
I think it's good that you're so positive about life. I think it's inspiring to me. I love that. It's like no, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a great. Life's so great. I'm like, that's great. Oh yeah, let's do that great thing. That's awesome.
The next thing you do is a very positive person too. So, one time you weren't positive. When we were at your house, you're like, I'm not in a good mood. I'm going to go take a walk, and then you were positive.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Oh, damn! You're Fatima and your mom. I feel like
Dude,
you're ganging up.
I trust them.
I mean, they're right though. So I guess I can't really. That's kind of interesting one. Did you ever sell a product?
Oh,
I would.
Why don't we put your books on Epsilon?
Okay. Should we?
Yeah.
All right. I'll write that. I guess we will.
That's a good idea. Thanks, George. George, like the agent.
Thanks, George. George gets 10%.
No, does it really?
No,
That'd be kind of
probably not. I'll send him some cookies or something. I just want to send everybody cookies through Peter.
Oh, those cookies are so good.
Thank you, Lenka. Move to Vegas. I'm trying to get Noah to move to Vegas. I'm trying to get everybody to move to Vegas, but it's a slow burn. It's not like I'm trying to get them to move tomorrow. I just try to show them the good side of Vegas in the back of their heads. Eventually,
there's a lot to offer.
It's a good place. Let's see. Haircut.
Budapest. Dude, I like the amount of questions you people ask. People ask
they ask really good questions.
Really good and a lot.
Really good questions. Yeah, like look, 33 people, and look how many like the level of like interaction, good questions, dude, extremely high.
It's also very good looking.
Very good, very good.
Extremely smart. These people.
They hit me with surprising questions too. Like last time we were talking about like personal finance, and then like all of a sudden someone's like, yeah, like what do you think the meaning of life is? I'm like, what do you think that? Oh boy, that's a deep question. We think about like I thought we were talking about taxes here, or I thought we were talking about how to like hang a picture frame. So the reason I clicked this one is because I play Population 1 like a fiend. I haven't played since you're here, but when nobody's here, I play for about an hour a day. I love Population 1. I love VR in general because it feels like an interactive experience and play with your friends. But the other video game-like thing that we did last night, pinball.
Oh, dude.
This was Noah's idea, and there's something called the Pinball Hall of Fame here, which is a nonprofit that has all these like awesome pinball machines, like some of the top ones, some old ones, some historic ones, and they fix them and kind of like keep them in top condition. I haven't played pinball in like years. It was so much fun, and like,
yeah.
How much money did we spend? Like
$30.
We spent like $30 for three of us for 2 hours, yeah. And it was like I felt like we were pumping quarters into those things. That was so much fun.
That was awesome. You know what? You don't think about this stuff. That's one drink basically, or two drinks at a bar.
Right.
Then you get and like it's over in like a minute, and you don't feel good. And you have calories, but I was just like for $30, like where else can you get 2 hours?
Yeah.
Entertainment and just fun and like a lot of
and kind of competing with each other, like trying to like, and then encourage each other when the other one's doing well. It was fun. Yeah,
pinballs, dude.
Look at our titles. Mine's so much better than just King Door.
Ooh, I'll take it. Yeah.
Do you know where I got that name? Quintessentially?
No.
Stanley gave me a superhero name.
What?
Isn't that good?
How'd you get Stanley to get you a superhero name?
He was speaking at UT,
Great.
And when it was time for questions, I was like, I had this idea, and as soon as he's like, okay, we're gonna ask questions, I get out there, I get to the mic, and I say, Stan, I'm thinking about becoming a superhero, but I haven't come up with a good superhero name yet.
Dude, that is really cool.
And Quintessential, isn't that a good one?
Yeah.
I was like,
Stan Lee, dude.
Dude, he was awesome. His whole presentation, he's like, I don't write any presentations, so I'm just gonna tell you some stories from back in the day, and it was awesome. Like it was, besides getting a superhero name, it was super fun. I feel like I get this all the time. Met some random dude in Colombia, known for his move the snake, said he did pick up with you. I feel like the amount of people who said that they've like done pick. Yeah, I get questions.
How many
women
have you picked up?
0.
No.
My wife.
No, but I'm just curious. Like, how many women you've approached in the
Thousands and thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to do the math, but we were going out nearly every day of the week. You would talk to at least 4 groups. No, sorry. How many did we do? 8, 12? Yeah, they probably talked to like 30 people a night. Yeah, thousands. Probably low thousands, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of practice.
Yeah. You want to answer this one? I have my answer. I feel like our answers are probably gonna be the same.
You got it.
Yeah. I don't have a mentor, but I feel like I just have awesome friends. So like if I had I had marketing questions, remember when in California when you were over there, and so I just asked my friends.
So,
But I feel like that's the kind of friend group we have too, where like basically everybody I know is an expert in something.
they're just interesting people.
Yeah.
I think with mentors, it's just like hard to find someone that really wants to give you the time of day.
Right.
That's actually that far ahead. I think one thing that's like counterintuitive with that is like mentor down. So like we want to have like you want to have friends or you want to have someone above, like maybe take a little bit of time to help someone below you.
Mm-hmm.
Something I've thought about and done over the years. Not consistently, but I always like that idea.
I think when you're friends too, then you can then it doesn't have to be like you're getting direct, like if I'm mentoring a random stranger, I have to get some value in return, probably, right?
Yeah.
Like at least to do it on a regular basis, if somebody just asks me a question, whatever. But I think if you're a friend, then like you're getting value from the friendship, so it's not like, ooh, I have to like keep track of these points.
I just wonder, I feel like there's like this mentor myth. Like you find the mentor, this woman, and she's done everything you want to do, and she helps you get to where you want to go. And it's like, I don't know, I guess I haven't really seen that all the times.
Yeah, I haven't either. I think in specific, I've seen it like I feel like Seth Godin has been like a mentor for like some people we know, but I think it's for specific categories, not like a life mentor.
Well, I guess what would you recommend this person to approach? So for Lenka, I guess what does she want to learn or where does she want to go, and then what would you recommend?
Damn, that's good. I'm gonna ask follow-up questions. That's a good one. Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, what do you want a mentor for? I'd be curious to know that. Never really marketed my blog. I think that's why good no, yeah.
Like you have some people who market too much but don't have good stuff, and I feel like Tynan has great stuff that don't tell anyone.
Noah and probably you more than other people, but I think it drives you absolutely nuts that I don't market.
It's not nuts. It's just like it's not nuts. It's just what you want to spend your time on.
Yeah.
I think there's people who don't have some interesting things to say to you that talk about themselves publicly a lot more, and people are like, oh, what does this person do? I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm going to see the Rialto soon in a few days. So my friends who just moved in down the street that I was talking about, they bought it from the person who bought it from the person who bought it from me.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So it's coming back to the neighborhood, so probably I could borrow it.
I remember visiting you in San Francisco at the gas station.
Oh, really?
I think
That's
so. It's either a gas station or you were parking at a
parking
at
gas station.
Haight-Ashbury where I was living for a while. There's that park there.
Oh,
right outside the gate.
Yes. Yeah, that was a good parking spot.
Yeah, I remember I had to go find a parking spot. Who the fuck? It's like parking is RV all over San Francisco.
That was my life. Ooh. What's up, Richard? New person. I like that.
Hell yeah.
Tech scene in Las Vegas. I guess I'm not really part of it. For a long time, being in Vegas was about being away from all my friends and working. So I feel like I'm not in the mode to make friends here, but now I'm kind of shifting. I think it's okay, but not great. It's certainly not like San Francisco or Austin or something like that.
I'm trying to think who's here in tech. David Hauser. You're in tech.
I mean, all of, the Zappos kind of thing. I think downtown there's more tech than the other areas. But it does feel like more people like that. My friend Devin, sort of people who are in that kind of space and have been successful are now moving to Vegas.
Also, yeah, people leaving California, a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
If there's no taxes, I wonder how people would change their lives. Puerto Rico would be empty.
I mean,
it's a pretty cool place, but just be interesting without taxes, how our motivations would be.
Yeah, I try not to let it influence me too much, but I wouldn't move to a state that had tax. And a lot of that is because I don't want to deal with it. It's just one extra thing to deal with. It's the money, but also it's then you have to file another tax return. I already don't like doing money. Did we go to the Sercen in Budapest?
Yeah.
The place is the best. So Noah is one of the, I don't think you mind me telling you this, one of the co-owners of the place in Budapest. So neither of us have gotten to go for a really long time, but we both love Budapest.
Hopefully this year. Yeah, I think Budapest is not number one, but top underrated country or city.
I think so too.
Top,
I actually think it is probably one of the top. Yeah, one of the top underrated cities in the world.
Even across America, Budapest is still going to be a comparable city.
And I think one of the cool things is there's really something for everybody there. So I could see places maybe Hong Kong wouldn't be for everybody, right? Budapest, everybody can find awesome stuff.
Dude, I think Dieter would like it. I can see Dieter and his kids playing. Like I went to the water park last time.
Oh, I wanted to do that.
The water park is next level.
The indoor one?
The outdoor one.
In the park.
In the park. Oh,
I really wanted to do that.
Dude, it's so cheap there. The outdoor we stayed there hours. It was fun.
That was a good question. Are there any subjects that we have radically different opinions on?
Making money.
I mean,
I think the amount of effort
true.
making money, I've gone harder on that than you have.
That's certainly true.
Dating.
I don't know. Yeah,
I agree with you. I'm just not.
Right.
I want to do it. I'm just not doing it.
I think drinking.
Oh yeah,
Stuff
drinking,
like that.
drugs. What do we have in common?
why are we friends again? This Emily person's right. We gotta, you gotta get out of here.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's cool about friends. Like you were showing me today, like a lot of crypto stuff that I'm like, I've never read about this. I've never heard about this. I'm trying to think what I teach you. Like marketing?
I think a lot of business marketing stuff. Pinball.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always just like little stuff that we bring. Here's a good question for you.
Never. I sold half a Bitcoin last month to see what it was like. I just wanted to see, like, I don't know, like, can I actually sell? Do they allow you to sell it? And so I sold it, and then I don't ever plan to sell. What would compel me to sell it? Nothing. I don't need. I think it'd be different if I needed the money. But even then, I'd probably take a loan, so there's no taxes.
Right.
But no, holding forever. Oh, awesome.
You called me your favorite crypto coin on Twitter. Don't understand that one. That's nice. Good to see Noah fans here.
Yeah.
I'm a Noah fan myself.
Oh.
I'm relate.
Tynan fan.
Noah, for your
Oh, wow.
I trust you for the amount of telling us to invest.
Okay, so the only thing, not only, I have lots of opinions on it. I saw a guy post a video who's pretty talkative, and he's actually in Vegas. His name's Andre. You know Andre Jeek? He said he invested $150,000, that's what the title is, I didn't watch the video. He said he invested $150,000 in OMI. It's some new fucking Bitcoin. And I think it's retarded. Oh, I can't say that.
You can say that.
Okay.
This is a semi
uncensored. I just think it's really stupid. So you kind of have to wonder why these people are putting out content about that, because he wants the coin to go up, so he's telling people to go buy it. I don't know what you should listen to. Like, I try to listen to people that are a lot smarter than me, like Tynan's been talking about this stuff for many, many years. And most of the people that are really good about it don't publish about it.
I think that for me personally, I think before I tell somebody to buy something, I have to be like so confident, especially because it's going to be on the blog. So it's like you can check what I said.
Yeah, when did you publish? You published.
I told people to buy Bitcoin at $200. It was like, you need to buy Bitcoin.
That's on your blog. That's
on my blog, and I think Ethereum too at 40 or something.
You told me Ethereum, it was in the hundreds. You're like, go buy it.
Yeah. So I think I have like different levels of like certainty. Where like, if a close friend asks me now, they're like, "Hey, do you think I should buy this?" I'm like, "Look, here's the risks, here's the upsides. I think you probably should." For it to be on the blog, I have to be like so certain because, I mean, the whole point of the blog is to give people good advice, you know. So like right now, I tell people to buy it, but I also say like, look. When Bitcoin was 200, it was so obvious to me that was a steal that I felt so confident, just like anybody should buy Bitcoin, no matter what your situation is, you're going to be glad. Now I think it's a little more nuanced than that.
But I think the part that's even more concerning is like, there's so many bozos. I'm not saying Andre is like, he might have interesting stuff, but it's like these people have done something for 2 years and they're making videos. I would just be wary, man.
Yeah.
Like, who do you listen to? Like, I listen to you, my other friend who's really rich off crypto.
I just watch random video. I try to like watch random videos of like only people who cover the whole market. So like they explain the mechanics, and I try to make my own decision based on the mechanics of it. Like if somebody tells me to buy something product, I won't do it. But if they're like, check out this project, here's what it does, then I try to evaluate. But I don't really invest in other coins anymore.
So who do you listen to?
I don't know the names of them, but I found like a channel on YouTube I liked where it's just this dude who's like super nerd who's just like, here's what this smart contract does, and here's what it does. And
I like the people that are not famous. Like these ones that are like kind of edge. Like I have a guy, Sam Feldman. He's in Austin. He's a crypto Sam, aka Crypto Kid, That's all he does.
Yeah.
He has crypto.guy or bitcoin.guy. Like he loves this stuff. He's like, he reaches all of it. He's like, go buy helium.
Mm-hmm.
And I like helium's it's the wireless network. You heard of this one?
I read about that one.
Yeah, so it's like Sean Fanning, and you can get wireless credits to free Wi-Fi everywhere. I'm like, that's kind of neat. I think there's like application for him. And he's told me that, and then like 6 months ago, he's like, buy more Ethereum today.
Yeah.
So I listen to him.
Nice. Actually, there's a newsletter I follow. It is my friend's boyfriend who does it. I mean, he's my friend too. But,
Dude, Kieran's getting a helium
really
hotspot.
like
Kieran, I just got my own helium hotspot. So you get hotspots. You set it, it's kind of like mining. You set up your own hotspot, and then you get
then you get credits
for sharing your Wi-Fi.
That's pretty cool.
I just like that. I don't think it'll work probably.
Yeah. With projects like that, I wonder if it actually needs to exist or if it's an excuse to make a token.
I think it's a full excuse. It's like, oh, let's add tokens to ice cream. Like,
yeah, that's sort of
that's how it feels more. Yeah, you're right.
So the newsletter I like, it's pretty new. It's called 30,000 Feet by Andrew Beal, and it's on Substack. He's only written 12 of them, and he's somebody, he told me about BlockFi. He was the first person I listened to
Really?
like BlockFi. And he's just like very, very, very smart, diligent, and very conservative with money. So he's not like, check out this crazy coin.
30,000 feet.
30,000 feet on Substack.
I think there's something there about finding the people that are not mainstream.
Right.
Like if you look at like in Vegas, there's Graham Stefan, Andre, and all these guys that everyone's following. It's like, who's the people that are not everyone's following?
Well, the incentives are all often better for the people that people aren't following, because once you're huge, you have so much leverage that like, well, if I just pump this coin, maybe I make tons of money.
That's a really good point.
Have you ever met Steve Pavlina? I have met Steve Pavlina. In fact, I think he was one of the first ones that kind of made me think, I could live in Vegas. I met him here. I met him and his wife back when he was still with Aaron. I visited him. And sort of like as a joke, I'm like, what are you doing in Vegas? That's crazy. And he's like, oh, it's the best place to live. I was like, what? And like, it just never occurred to me. He lives out in like Henderson or Summerlin or something like that. And he sort of like explained to me why he lived in Vegas. And I think it didn't click because it was just, I had this like, but it's Vegas kind of idea.
That's so cool.
But it's interesting to me. I mean, I feel like I'm usually very early on stuff, and he was like a decade early on Vegas.
Dude, he was like, him and Leo, honestly, were some of the original like big time bloggers.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Lena has like some really game changing articles. I mean,
He really does. He's got like I'm not into like the law of attraction, all that kind of new agey movie stuff. But I have to say, even recently I read his blog and he was talking about how he wrote blog posts, and I was like, and it really resonated with me. It's like, yep, there's advice I can take from there. Like, he's good. And he's a very smart guy.
Is he still writing?
He's still writing.
Do you still listen to his stuff?
Not often, but I checked recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's been on a long time.
still
I think
listen to his
I think that's what's like kind of hard about being online if you want attention, is like that sustainability and like that, like, oh, how do I stay relevant?
I think it's especially hard on YouTube. Like I've thought about like actually doing YouTube, not just like these little live things for fun. And I see the cycle you're on, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to sign up for that. That's a lot of work. I see the work you put into it.
It's a lot, man. That's so cool.
This is turning into the crypto challenge.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Comments of Bitcoin. Interesting. What do you think about the future of Bitcoin as a daily currency? Most people talk about crypto only in terms of being investment. So I think it's unlikely that it's going to be the unit of account that we're transacting in, but I think it's almost inevitable that it will be the underpinning of everything we do with finance. Any additional thoughts?
I think what's interesting is like when you're trying to do wire transfers, so like I'm trying to buy a house or I'm trying to do, like we have a lot of people internationally that we're trying to pay. Like these fees, and the actual amount of time to do a wire is pretty long. And so I think there's some really interesting use cases that I'm excited about. Like I can instantly send money without anybody getting involved with low fees fast. I think there's a lot of cool things.
Like USDC is sort of a game changer. It's not as exciting as Ethereum and Bitcoin, but like you could just send USDC to somebody and it's as good as a dollar. You know, in a way where like maybe somebody doesn't want like 0.03 Bitcoins. Maybe they are happy to have 1,000 USDC.
One of the things I'm always fascinated in the comments is like how many people here are involved in or like have bought crypto.
Yeah, especially the people asking the crypto questions. I'm curious if you already have crypto or if you're like thinking about having crypto. You know, if you're kind of like, so I get questions a lot about this.
I mean, you literally wrote a book.
That's a good point. But I feel like maybe I don't answer the question well enough because it keeps coming up. You know, Does it make sense to try to connect with people you admire before you have something interesting to show about yourself?
So I thought about this week.
Okay.
I think one of the key things that I've done in terms of meeting people is meet them before they get popular.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that I've been able to connect with, either A, when they were just getting started, I was like, hey, I really like your stuff. I just want to reach out and like maybe I can help you or just connect with you. The other thing that I did early on, that I still do today, is like if I meet people or if I'm meeting people, like, oh, who's interesting that you know? Or who's like that's how I met Ramit Burger.
Interesting. It's sort of like investing, right? Buy low and then sell high. Dump your friends when they become famous. Yeah.
How's it for you?
Advice. I think it's very hard to make friends with somebody when you don't feel like you're going to contribute equally to the friendship, right? So I feel like it's sort of like ripping somebody off. It's like, here, buy this car for like $50,000. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's like a crass way to put it. And I do think that it's not like there's one way in which you have value. I think there's like a lot of ways. Even just being a good friend is value. But I think like when somebody says like before you have something interesting to show about yourself, it's like, what are you bringing to that friendship?
Yeah.
That a friendship has to be a two-way street, or it's not going to be sustainable or really enjoyable for either person.
One thing that everyone can do that I still do to this day is just send a compliment. So like a lot of you guys watch this is actually really fun.
Okay.
So let's just try it right here. So a lot of you guys have followed or watched Tynan for years. So like, what is something that you've gotten or learned out of Tynan? Just as a practice. So like, it's like let them do it. So leave some comments about like, what do you guys like about Tynan? And I do this today. Like I saw an artist, Malaga. He's out in Australia, and I just sent him like an Instagram DM. I was like, yo, your art is fire.
I did that to the alcoholic guy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just want you to know that I love your channel and you seem like a great person.
And that's a lot of times actually they'll respond. You start engaging. You can start sharing things, and slowly build up a relationship. Like I don't know if everyone you become best friends overnight.
Yeah.
Like we probably took like 3 years.
Many years.
Yeah.
That's true.
So leave comments. I want to actually see the comments. What do you guys learn from Tynan or benefited from Tynan?
When I did my blog survey, and like one of the questions was like, have you gotten anything out of this blog? It I think it maybe brought me to tears. Like I almost cried. Like some of the things, it's pretty amazing.
Honestly, that survey was really long. I really wanted to do it, but I was just like,
you don't have to answer everything. It's just like some people only answered like 2 or 3.
I wish I would have known that.
Yeah.
I'm a doer, dude. I'm not like a rule follower. Well, but yeah, leave more comments about how you guys have been inspired by Tynan.
A lot of people saying whether they got into.
This is about to
Yeah, I always go behind. I don't know if you go to the end. I never want to miss anybody's thing. I love this guy, by the way. Caesar came to one of my events.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. He's like one of everybody. He was everybody's favorite at that place. I was like, that Caesar guy was so cool. Yeah.
How was the company we gave away? He's not doing very well. He's not putting in the time.
Wait, what?
He was asking a question about we gave away executive ice. So I bought it for 10
Yeah.
10
Where's that one? That's
right above.
Okay.
So we bought a site, executiveice.com. You guys can all check it out, executiveice.com. Click the ads. And the guy has a good heart, but I don't know how his job's working. His day job's not working out. He's got a kid and a wife. Honestly, he's just not putting in the time.
Do you think that if he was the type of person who would put in the time, he would have had his own business by now anyway? Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That was Tynan's wedding.
Yeah.
Have you answered that before?
What? I've told people it's a Chipotle thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Actually, Noah, I said no gifts. Noah got me a gift. He emailed to like the executive board of Chipotle and got them to wish us a happy wedding. I still have it. Pretty hilarious. You want to answer this one? How do you start a journey of being self-employed and stand out in overcrowded fitness? I think that's hard.
I mean, who's famous in health and fitness?
Not me.
Not me.
No.
I mean, I was thinking about this stuff because, like, we're older. I guess we've gone through a lot. We've learned a lot, made money, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, if you're just starting out, I think the big thing is just get going. So, like, how can you go help someone today on health and fitness? Right? Like, I think the thing that always blows my mind with physics is actually just, like, be healthy, be active.
It's so easy, and it's just like
it's like the most complicated. You're not going to Mars,
but getting people to do it.
Yeah,
I think that's the hard part.
I think if I were starting out in health and fitness, I try to help people individually. Like I would go to people that act like, hey, do you want help? No. Do you know anyone who does? Secondly, I would just document that experience. So like make videos, make podcasts, do a blog, whatever those tweets. And then third, I try to find my own angle of it. right? So I try to figure out like, hey, I'm going to be the vegan, diet, gay, Jewish guy or whatever. That's but just finding out whatever, like, I'm going to be the boxing fitness person. So everyone thinks of me for whatever specific thing.
Really, I always like your advice for people starting businesses because I feel like it's always like, it makes them get over their excuses very quickly. It's like, you just do something now. And I think if people aren't willing to do that, they're forced to confront why they're not.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, let's make this plan for a year and then maybe you don't. Fatima, no crypto.
We gotta get Fatima some crypto.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, I wish Fatima had some crypto.
Fatima, I'm gonna send you my affiliate link. No, for Coinbase, and then I'll send her some.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right, good, nice. All right, Fatima's getting crypto. Well, the thing is,
this is how Fatima gets rich. She just shows up to everyone's
exactly, just like,
and then they sympathize. I'm like, man, she's so great. She's so positive.
I wish I had crypto in every single one. Maybe she's like 0.01 bitcoins until she gets like 30 Bitcoin. Some people, Mark, I'm not telling you to buy anything, but I think that it's very likely people will look back at this time and think, I should have gotten crypto in, what month are we in now? April 2020. Let's see. Adam,
I think the one thing just with crypto I have to add, don't do crypto to get rich.
Right.
Like, at least not for me. It was never like, I'm going to buy this thing and pray to get rich. Like, I think it's a cool thing to experience. There's a lot of the future. It's fun to be a part of it. It's fun to play the game. Like, I'm in the game, not on the, in the stands. But I think people, if you want to get wealthy, like, try to create your own business, go get a job at a high-paying company. But I don't know. I want to discourage people from that. It's not that I want to stay rich, so like, oh, don't buy it. Because it's better for me, actually, more people buy. But I just think people buy with the wrong intention.
I think also, like, it's a lottery ticket. It's like a lottery ticket with good odds, so it's worth doing. But it's not like guaranteed I'm going to be rich, right?
Would you say the upside is really high?
The upside is really high. That's the whole point of crypto. Like, Ethereum is going to 20,000 or zero, and there's basically nothing else that could happen. This is another phrase that he doesn't like I say.
No, I love it. I actually, for audience, if you guys have any Tynan, leave more comments on Tynan. I want to see some nicer comments on Tynan.
They might have comments. Good. Okay, so a lot of people have crypto. That's right. Oh gosh, so many now.
Are they leaving more? I want to see more positive things. I'm getting so much out of you. Does it not true? It sounds really aggressive.
I've milked you for everything you're worth.
All right, Fatima, I sent you my affiliate link for Coinbase.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's it. See, these are the ones I really like. It's like somebody traveling around the world.
Oh my god. Like, that's so cool.
Like, honestly, just even a few of those on blogging was totally worth it. Dude, I know how much that changed my life.
Yeah. Right? Now Adam O'Hearn, dude.
I know Adam.
Okay.
I don't know him in person, but like, he's another one who I've like definitely seen as an awesome person.
That's such an op, dude. He literally went around the world because of it.
Not wild. Yeah. I didn't sign a prenup, and I'll say why. I don't think that I'm against them. I think my wife actually offered to sign one when I didn't even bring it. She said, if you want me to sign a prenup, just let me know. I think there are cases, like if you have a business that you're not the only stakeholder of, and like if you got divorced, it would negatively impact those people, because then they could control the business or something. I think that maybe there's an argument for it. I sort of think that if you feel strongly that you have to sign a prenup, you need to think about the quality of the character of the person you're marrying.
I'm kind of surprised by your answer.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you think I would say?
I thought you would get it more because it's just like, when we go out to dinner, you and your wife split.
Yeah.
So you're clear on that, like, hey, this is mine, this is yours, like, we're responsible for this.
But I trust her enough that if we got divorced, she wouldn't try to take what's mine.
I just heard the stories where it's like, they were great when we got married, and then we divorced, it like changed to a different person. And
I think that's the quality of person. Could be wrong. I mean, I have zero
I
experience with this.
Knock on Chinese.
This is what's cracking crazy. I think that, like, think about me. If my wife became a billionaire and we got divorced, and even like, let's say she like cheated on me or something, like, do you think I would try to take her money? Like, there's zero chance, right? And you don't know her super well, but like, I know that there is no chance she would try to take anything that's mine. And so I think that not just that quality, but I think the kind of mindset that creates that quality is the kind of person I personally want to marry.
I think we'll chat with my business partner. when he was getting married, and I was, he was one of my best friends, I was like, yo, are you gonna do a prenup? Because like, if you're divorced, she gets a lot.
Right. So I do think that's a very reasonable.
But to your point, which I did have I've never forgotten. It was kind of the same point you're making. He's like, I've never divorced him. He's like, I'm marrying someone I'm never separating from. So like, he's like, there's no other way. Like,
I think that's sort of naive.
Potentially, but it was just more to the point. He's like, I'm not making that option for us. And I think there's some. I agree with you as well, like character, but also like commitment.
We talk about it. We're like, yeah, if we ever get divorced, like, I think it's like not a taboo. I don't think we will.
I mean, my honest thought for you, not honest, but one of my thoughts for you is that I think your money might be so hidden that you can't find it. It's like buried treasure. It's like on the island.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, just released it.
I have thought about like going way into the island, like hiding my crypto keys, like burying it somewhere.
I would not. It's not already.
Well, it was going to be a whole plan.
So I did, and I hired a divorce lawyer. I did a podcast episode. Really fascinating.
I don't think I heard that.
It was honestly, he was a super interesting guy. He got divorced, which was like, it's good. Your divorce lawyer's been
he's been through it.
It just, yeah.
Let's see. Look at this. See, I'm not the only one who likes Chipotle. I like this Noah guy.
My ex-girlfriend. See, that's
ex-girlfriend.
good. That's how you broke up with her.
See, that's what I'm talking about. One of the qualities you need are someone who wouldn't steal your money and wants Chipotle at the wedding. You get those two, you're basically done.
Let's see what Nicholas.
Found through the gear post.
Dude, yeah, you have such great lifestyle design. I think what you do so phenomenally well is like find these things before other people are making like, oh, we could do that.
Yeah, I think that's probably
like your car. There's a lot of this stuff, man.
Yeah, I really like that stuff. I think that's fun. That's really nice. Something like that. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
That's another thing I like when I get feedback, like from the survey or this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, good. People like the things that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? Like, I think if like all my readers were like, not that I'm not proud of pickup, but if they're like, oh, like if everybody's like, I read you because you're like so into pickup, like, it's like, so I kind of like the people. I feel like the things I would say I'm writing for are the things people like. I like that. Look how mystical I sound.
Zen-like energy of Tynan. I feel like he knows. I feel like, yeah, I think a lot of times I'm like, oh, Tynan should just know the answer to the meaning of life. Like when they ask that question, I'm like, yeah, you're the person I probably want to get an answer from.
Damn, that's a good one. Thank you. You're not ready for it yet.
Whoa,
I gotta figure it out.
I like that. No, that's a good answer though.
That's another good one. I feel like very like self-indulgent.
Yeah. Sometimes this, honestly, I did this a while ago for someone else, and I was like, man, it's kind of not. We don't get compliments really that often. And it's also we don't take them too.
You know, like on Reddit, there was something where it's like, guys, like what sucks about being a guy? And there were so many people that were like, I've never received a compliment in my life. Right? Because women get compliments all the time, like so many, and they're hollow, so they don't value them anymore, right?
That's interesting.
But then men get like zero compliments. Like I can think of like a lot of times, like a random stranger would give me a compliment, and like I still remember because it's rare for like someone to like that you don't know to give you a compliment. Not when you're online and stuff like that.
Come for the money, stay for the technology. Yeah.
I think now I'm 10 minutes behind that. So should I just scroll down these a little bit? Yeah, so many questions. It's great. This person mentioned tea. No, I really like that. That was the most controversial thing on the survey. When it was like, what posts do you want to see more of? What posts do you want to see less of? Tea was number one for both of those. Put your hand. Losing your tea.
I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, getting cut off.
I think with tea people, they have a certain weirdness to them. There's a certain, don't look at me like that. You know it. Well, I guess you don't know what I'm talking about.
Non-tea people have a distinct weirdness about that. What is that supposed to mean, tea people?
I would say there's a certain stereotype of white men who are really into Asian green tea that I've observed in my life.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's like a certain quirkiness. You're on the better end. You're on like the best end, I would say. The best. There's just definitely some where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
There are the people who have the ninja swords and the dragon shirts. What was I going to do? There was something I wanted to do, some Asian like thing. I wish I could remember what it was. It was something like I want to do in the house or something, and I was like, nope, that's crossing the line. That's like, at that point, I may as well have the dragon shirt.
You don't do anime, do you?
Not really. I like Studio Ghibli movies. Spirited Away.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've never watched it. Should I watch this?
It's something I was kind of against anime, and I wouldn't have watched it, but I was at a friend's house, and like they were watching it. it was so engrossing. I watched the whole thing, and then I rewatched it so I could catch the part I missed because it's kind of Studio Ghibli. I bet people here watch Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli is amazing. I saw every single one.
I'm trying to get into the dark side.
Totally agree. I think Ethereum. This is why I have Bitcoin just because I don't want to feel like an idiot if it goes up and I miss out, which I'm glad I didn't because it's gone up so much recently. But even though I have like maybe not roughly equivalent amounts, but I have like a significant amount of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes down, I'm psyched. I'm like, yes, Bitcoin deserves to go down. And then when Ethereum goes, like, I want Ethereum to go up, and I want Bitcoin to go to zero.
That's interesting.
Even though I have a lot. Let's see. No crypto here. Live differently, uniquely, not pay rent for 10 plus years, travel to 35 countries. That's a lot. That's awesome.
He's avoiding rent. Is he running for the government?
I don't know. It sounds like a squatter. Maybe he's around here somewhere.
Zach, don't post that publicly. Don't let them find you.
Let's see. Let's go gear post on one bag.
Oh, one bag. Such a good.
This one dude posts my gear post every year. One bag. It's so cool.
Message him.
I did actually.
Did you?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. He convinced a friend to buy property with me in the future. Michael, which property is it? Tell me about this. One guy emailed me. He's doing it in Maine. This is one of those things where like I feel like when I told people when I'm like live in an RV, it's amazing. So many people did, and now I'm like buy property with your friends. It's the best thing, and very few people do.
Dude, hold on. Van life is only popular recently, but you were doing that like 10 plus years ago.
When I did van life, people thought I was a psychopath.
I thought you was like
like nobody did that back then, except old people. Like some old people would do it, but they would like move around like the snowbird thing.
Yeah.
And then there actually was one couple who found me on my blog, and I think they were doing it longer than me.
Wow.
They were like hardcore. Sherry was the woman's name.
Where do you find all this edgy stuff? Like, where do you find the van thing?
On time. It's not that I find it. I just like I think about a problem I'm solve, and then I just think of every possible scenario, and I let myself think about even ridiculous things. And then sometimes I'll think there's like a nugget there where it's like not quite developed, but like there's something. And yeah, just kind of.
You were just. What was the nugget? What was the problem you're solving for van life?
So, well, actually, for van life, that's actually not a good example because that one, I just missed having an RV because I had an RV or I had a school bus that I built with my friends, and I bought one and then drove back. So I used to have one of the best penthouses in Austin. Do you know that?
I think so.
Yeah. And bought this RV at that time, parked it out front, and I loved living in the RV so much, sold the penthouse. I even paid rent on it, or paid the mortgage for like months, and like kept living in the van. So maybe that's not the best example.
You know, Tynan thinks. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm totally swayed. I just do what Tynan says.
That's what I do too, actually. I just do what I say. Another one, traveled all around the world.
Dude.
And I have to give credit, so the ultra light thing was Todd's idea. My good friend
really?
Todd.
Todd's cool.
We went to go buy backpacks. I wanted to get a huge one because I was like, I can bring so much stuff on this trip. And Todd saw the Deuter 28, and he was like, I think we could fit in this. I'm like, there's no way we're going to do that. It's way too small. So he convinced me. So he was actually first. Now he travels with 2 bags. Take that time.
He's got the 2 bags over there.
I got a the 2 bag. Only 3 subscribers to that one. It's not that good. Don't use ex officio underwear. I use what's it called? Icebreaker.
I wear sacks. I only wear sacks.
Sacks with that in silk.
No, I say X.
Finest. How do you feel about developing parasocial relationship with fans? Is it the real thing? How do you keep yourself in check? What is parasocial? I'm not sure, but I think I'm inferring it. It's like more than just like reading my stuff, more than just friends. I like it. I think like the way I think about it is I have enough friends in real life, basically. Like, you know, my time is basically full, so I'm not trying to like make new friends that I'm gonna hang out with all the time and stuff. But I think that at this point, I've had like a relationship with my readers for a decade, 15 years, and so you guys are part of my life in a weird way. So I do like sort of having a better relationship, closer relationship. I don't know. How about you? Actually, I'm gonna get some more water.
You want to fill it up?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
you answer.
Meeting fans has been one of the coolest things about this experience. I mean, we kind of met because of blogs and fans. I think what I would encourage people to do is not to be a fan. Like, I actually don't like fans. I don't want people idolizing me. Maybe I was like, I think it's just like how you approach it as a relationship and just be like, hey, I really like your stuff versus I think a lot of people, like let's say Tim Ferriss, who's really well known. People are like, oh my god, what does Tim have for breakfast? It's like, I think that just creates an awkward dynamic versus like, hey, I know these things you're interested in, I'm interested in that, and just I guess treating more people as individuals than idols. I like it. I love meeting with different people. It's interesting which ones I want to get to know better versus ones I'm like, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit awkward just as like because they know so much about you and you know nothing about them. Not like it's their fault, but I think that is like a challenging dynamic to get over sometimes. Just to be honest, I don't know. Digital nomad, man, so cool. Like so many people did this digital nomad thing, right? That's like so satisfying to me.
I have a lot of what's on your post.
That was, when I met Derek Sivers, I was like very nervous to meet him because like to me, he was like one of the blogs. Like
he's a legend.
He's a legend, right? And I like loved his blogs. And so I met him in his apartment in New York and I was like pretty nervous. And I walk in and as soon as I walk into his house, all of his stuff was my stuff from my year post. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't have to be that intimidating. He's a super original thinker too. I feel like he's another one who just he just does whatever he wants to do. Which is pretty cool. Comes up with crazy ideas. Man, yeah, he's agreeing with you.
You know what I'm talking about? That's an interesting question. Do you?
I don't volunteer. I've done it a couple times and I actually really enjoy it, but I think I just don't prioritize it. And I'm also not sure it's the best use of time.
But hear me out. Is this volunteering? I'm not getting paid. You're not getting paid. So what is volunteering?
It's a little self-serving too. It's fun. I guess volunteering can be fun. I found our friend Brian volunteers like a lot, and I was like, maybe respect him more. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool.
I think volunteering is great. I'm not discouraging it, but it's like there are ways like you're not making money.
Honestly, how I do think about it is I think it's like maybe it's egotistical sort of thing, but I'm like, no matter what, I've been a net positive on this earth, right? Like I've consumed resources, I've like taken from other people, but I also think that I've given enough that I'm overall a net positive. Not saying I'm the biggest net positive, but I feel that way. So I don't feel like I'm the biggest.
I love how much. I think this is something we can all learn from. It's just like how you look at yourself. Yeah. Like people say like there's books and all this shit like how to love yourself. Just listen to Tynan. No, because I think you do a really good job of that.
He's buying with his friends. A couple acres. Dude, Vermont is awesome. My grandparents were from Vermont. I love Vermont. Really, really, really cool. So beautiful there, like the foliage. You can make maple syrup if you have the right trees. We used to do that. Vermont is an underrated state. Really cool. And if you're anywhere near Burlington, there's a tea place there. I gotta get a filter so you can't roll your eyes. Just keep your eyes like this. I forget what it's called, but it's like a totally legit tea house that is did we go to 1000 Tea in Budapest? Do you remember that place?
I don't actually know tea places. I know,
How do you even like Budapest? Anyway, honestly, if the tea place is erased from Budapest, I would still love it, but I would go much less frequently. Going to Jiao Jiao is an amazing experience.
What was it for 1,000?
Oh, so they have a branch in Vermont. I drove by it when I was there. I was like, wait, that looks like a place it had a different name. I was like, that looks like a real tea place. And I walk in, I'm like, this looks like 1000 Tea in Budapest. Yeah. And I asked them, they're like, oh yeah, it's our sister location.
That's cool.
It was crazy. Oh, look at this. All right, Fatima, she wants that money. She's got a Coinbase account. Send her some Bitcoin or something. Send her at least 10 Bitcoin. Oh,
Fatima, send me your information. Or send me your Ethereum address. So you get an address on Coinbase and then message that to me and I'll send you some.
It's a good idea, right? Fatina's a coach, get paid in crypto. I had a guy who was paying me for coaching in crypto. I think that was probably by far the most money I've ever made per hour. And then I had somebody, I was telling Noah this yesterday, I was searching through my emails for Bitcoin or something, and somebody wanted to buy one of my ebooks that wasn't available in their country as a PDF. And they were like, yeah, the price is like 0.1 Bitcoin, so I can just send that to you. And I didn't reply because I was too lazy to do it. Yeah. Let's see. What else we got? This is volunteering. I'm getting credit for it. Thank you, Kieran. I think it's not quite volunteering, but I do think it's...
Volunteering is like food banks or like cleaning up, building houses.
Sometimes it's sort of like we were talking about like doing favors for people the other day. I feel like, is that really like a way that I can provide a lot of value? It's just that, like, the value I'm providing is worth $10 an hour at that point, right?
It's kind of interesting. So if you think about it as like time units,
I should just do one coaching call and then hire somebody else to do that work for the food bank. Then they get money and the food bank gets the labels.
because I guess we're arguing that volunteering is like not using your time well.
That's what I feel, and I think that's sort of like a callous thing to say or whatever. But I just feel like if I wanted to make that impact, there are ways I could do it to be more efficient. I think the way I think about it too, and maybe this again is not the best way, but I think like we were talking about this, but like I feel like I'm all set. How can I help those who are like in my immediate vicinity and like because I have a lot of leverage on them. Like I don't have that much leverage on some random homeless person, but like I could really change the lives of some people around me. So I try to focus on doing that. And even like, it's not definitely not volunteering because I get paid for it and stuff like that. But I think like when people do coaching with me or like when people come to my events, and I sometimes get to see the results, I feel like I have huge leverage on that. So in terms of like, how can I spend my time to like help other people? I just feel like that's more valuable.
Dude, sweet.
But I also get something for it. So it's not like totally selfless, But I also think at this point, like the amount of money I make on some of these things is not really that significant.
George, I'm curious. Got 2 answers down.
This is a good one. I have some good ones here. Fear and uncertainty. First, you want me to go first?
I'd love to.
George has really good questions.
Yeah, George, you should do questions for them.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, maybe you guys should team up. I feel like you also have really good, or you have really good questions, but you have the best follow-up questions.
Thank you.
So maybe you could be like a tag team. He has the original one. You're like, oh yeah, well, how about this? I feel like people don't believe me when I say things like this. I have no fear of uncertainty, basically. All right, I have no fear, and I like uncertainty. And I think that that's because I was a gambler for so long that you have to become very comfortable with uncertainty, and you learn that if you deal with an uncertainty well, then it's a relative advantage for you. So, for example, when COVID came out, like during COVID, I think this was one of the best years of my life. And I think it's because there was uncertainty that I'm able to capitalize on that other people maybe aren't. So, I don't know, biggest fear.
You fear dying?
I mean, it's freaks me out a little bit, like, but not really. I do the stoic thing of like, I just try to imagine myself dead all the time. And maybe that helps. But I think what makes it easy for me to not fear death is, I think very objectively, if I died today, I'd be like, well, I had such a great life, hit all of my goals, that like, I clearly got such a good end of that deal that like, what am I complaining about? Like, I'm 40 and I've had, I think, a much better life than 99% of all of society's ever had. So like, oh, I'm going to complain that I didn't get another 40 years. It doesn't make sense. So I don't want to die. I hope I can live forever. But yeah, not really that. I really hate bugs. Cockroaches, like even one. If there was one on the floor right now, I'd be freaking out about that. But that's not like, I really don't like bugs. So I feel like I don't like answering that question because it makes me seem like kind of arrogant or something. But
I don't think it comes across as arrogant. I think with everyone, it's like everyone's got different fears and uncertainty. I don't think it goes away. It just changes. I don't have an answer. Biggest fear, probably now I'm biking in America, so like, honestly, one of my fears is how am I going to make YouTube videos while I'm on the road? I'm honestly,
you know you have a good life, and that's what you're afraid of.
I don't know, like all the tax on all my dividends, like all the tax I have to pay. No, but I am a little concerned about like I'm supposed to film some stuff, and it's stressing me out a little bit to figure that out.
That counts as a fear.
Oh, now you're discrediting my fear.
I am
George. Hey, George, what are you afraid of, man?
Yeah.
George, post your fear.
It's a good idea. You're better at interacting. I feel like
no, you're interacting. What I like about the way you're doing it, it's like compliment day. I like it. Compliment day is a great day.
Tea time with Tynan. Compliment day.
No, but you go slower. You're more calm with it. I feel like I'm like antic. I'm like rushed. I'm like, I gotta make sure. But I like it's kind of teed out, you know.
Yeah,
it's green teed.
That's what we do. Yeah, it is Dobra tea, but they have different. It's Dobra tea in Czechoslovakia. It's 1000 tea in Budapest, and then I forget what it's called in Vermont, but you probably could find it from their website or something.
Interesting question.
Do you like UBI? Have we talked about this?
I haven't thought about it extensively. I don't really have a strong opinion. I think people should work. I think everyone should have healthcare. I don't know. Some of these things, I wonder if people are going to work if they don't have to. I think that some people. I love UBI. But I would say that
I have a strong opinion that we should try it. I don't have a strong opinion that it should be here forever. But I think about people, I think that there are a lot of people that are underperforming relative to their potential because they just have to make rent. And I feel like if they had that cushion, they would have a wider variety of things they could do, and they could do something where they would be able to produce more value for the world. So I think I think there would be some people who do nothing. But I think that's not a natural state. So I think most people would then break out and do something. I think it would probably overall be a very big positive. I would be happy to pay taxes for it, especially sales tax. I love sales tax.
You love sales tax?
I love sales tax.
Why?
Because sales tax, there's no loopholes. It's very simple, and you're taxing the right thing. I don't think you should tax. I mean, I get that we have to, but like, I don't like that if I have some opportunity to make money, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm going to pay so much taxes on it. Like, it's a small disincentive against making money. I do like the idea that like, yeah, like you want to buy like a Lamborghini, totally cool. I think you should be able to, but let's disincentivize that a little bit and make money. So I like sales tax. I have had coaching clients that failed to make progress. I would say that the number one thing I've learned is that if I can get someone to consistently do anything for a month, every single day for a month, I think of people who have done that, 100% have succeeded. I think as a coach, I've gotten better at getting people to do it. I think in the beginning, it was much harder for me to get people to do that, but now I have certain systems. I feel like there's one person who I coached who I maybe failed, to be honest.
Like you think you did well?
Yeah, I think that he was trying to find a job, and I think I tried to help him, but I think it was so far out of my area of expertise. I think, he also had his own failings. I don't think it was all me, but I really think that I could take some of the blame for that one. I think a lot of the other people I think most people most people do hit their goals, and they hit them in many cases much faster than they think. I think that's the most common outcome. And then I think there's a lot of people who they think it's a magic pill, and then they realize they actually have to do something every day, and they just like do it for a month, and that's it.
Do you have any advice for Fatima on growing her coaching business?
I think
anyone growing a coaching business?
I think I'm the worst at it because I don't care how many coaching clients I have, and generally it's like I took more on during COVID because I just knew I had more time, but now I'm not taking any because I know I'm going to be able to travel soon. I think I have the incredible luxury of having a blog with like not tons, but like a good amount of awesome readers who like, and I think I've developed a good relationship where like I'm not scamming people or like, selling them crap. So I think when I offer some service, people trust me that it's going to be worth it. And so I think for me, it's very easy. I think if I didn't have a blog, I probably wouldn't get anybody.
So what that sounds like strategically though is create a lot of content that's valuable and effective to a specific audience, build that up over 20 years, and then you can make money.
Exactly. But I think exactly. I mean, that's what I did, but I think that's not the answer people want. But Fatima probably would.
But I think that's also a good approach. It's like if you go and help people, like Ramit or Tim, they put out a lot of content.
Right.
And then they also then sold books or sold other things.
Yeah.
So I have my friend coming.
Your friend.
I have like a date-ish friend thing coming in 7 minutes.
He has a 10-minute date.
That's kind of like
we're going to time it. We'll see if it's actually 10 minutes.
Can I bring her on the show?
Yeah,
if you guys are down.
Yeah, why not? That was fun.
She lives in Vegas.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, something. Oh boy. All right.
This is cool, dude. I like this one.
It's really fun, right?
Yeah, yours is fun. Like I think mine, I'm like stressed, a little too much stress about it.
I like yours a lot too.
They're fun.
I had so much fun being on yours that's why I started. Oh, I meant to mention that. The only reason I do this is because of Noah, because he did it. It's really fun. What's something people have no idea about right now become really important in the next decade? We're not allowed to say crypto. Really important. Do you have any ideas to throw out?
I think, I don't know about important. I think everyone's going to live in multiple cities. That'll be like almost the norm.
Thank you. I think so too. That's what
I think it's going to be like, you live in your city and then you live in another city, and that's just like more normal than everyone staying in the same village.
Yeah. I think that working remotely, and I think that sort of like, I don't know, this is probably like a weird buzzwordy way to put it, like micro entrepreneurship. Like you don't have to start like the next Microsoft, but I think even now there's such a transition to like everything from like Uber drivers or like a small one-person startup or like YouTube channel. Like I think people don't realize how many people are now working for themselves relative to before. I don't know what the stats are, and I could be wrong, but I think it's huge. And like, when I see people go through school and trying to get a degree now, I think you're a total moron. No offense to anybody doing that, but I just think like the value in doing that is negative at this point, and I think people don't realize that. Versus like starting a YouTube channel at that age, or starting a blog at that age, or building some skills, or an apprenticeship, or like whatever. I just think I think the way people make these decisions is totally wrong right now.
So less college, more micro entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
More living in new cities.
Yeah. I also think there's certain, like Vegas for sure. I think second tier cities like Vegas are going to become much more important, going along with the same trend of micro entrepreneurship and more mobility being able to go between different places. I think people's networks of friends are going to become more important. Like think about like, I don't know, back in the day, I think some people got jobs and stuff like that. I think like in the future, it's going to be even more important working together with people and stuff like that. So yeah, that's sort of, I feel like that all kind of is a cohesive vision that has like a bunch of pieces.
I wonder if one thing that'll be important in the future is just people that can pay attention. Like I feel like, especially now, including myself, like we have the inability to focus on things like movies. I have friends who are like, dude, how do you watch an hour movie? And I think one is just like we're literally conditioned on like 10-second TikTok and reels and micro distractions. So I think there's going to be people that'll practice like long-term deep thinking, long-term deep focus.
Great one. Yeah, I think in terms of like skills that would be important in the future, I think real life social skills.
I wish I had that.
And I think that.
Yeah.
Are two huge
real life. Yes.
That's an interesting one for me because I feel like I've become hyper aware of it through pickup and also just through like writing a social skills book. But I feel like there's a visible decline in social skills in society, and not just like the younger generations are bad, but like everybody's getting worse. And maybe I'm just a grumpy old man. I don't know, but
You're not.
But I think if you can have like real life social skills,
That is funny. Yeah, people going up and talking to people in public, or like just trying to interact. Like they're so used to like
so bad.
memes and quick texts.
And people talk over each other all the time. Which have you noticed that? Like, because in text, you can just kind of do it asynchronously. You both say what you want to do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think I do it sometimes too, unfortunately. But shut it now. Any tips for training uncertainty? Learn poker, meditate, just doing certain things. In general, let's say do uncertain things. Poker is a good way, but I don't know that it's necessary.
I mean, I think even take yesterday as an example. Like, I didn't really want to go up to random people and ask to use their skis.
Which is weird, because I think that's like exactly what
I
you
know,
would do. I think
I-
that's a more you thing.
It is a very me thing to do, and I do that stuff, but I think I was uncertain if I could get it. So I would ask yourself, like, it's a fun muscle to be practicing.
Yeah. Those are good questions, right? What do you think about the mass automation in the near future and how it will impact humans and beings life? I think it's going to be an overall massive net positive. What do you think?
I don't really have much thoughts about it. You have smart audience. Like, mine's just cool. Mine's like, yo, what should I have for lunch? I'm like, yo, I got you.
Tacos.
Like, so all of the smartest people from my YouTube channel have now migrated west to Vegas.
Thanks, guys.
Marcel's here. That's cool. And Jeremiah.
So Marcel, God, now we see now we're behind. Oh, gosh, there's so many good questions here. This is what freaks me out. This is what I'm afraid of. I won't get to answer all these good ones.
Yeah, see, tea time with Tynan is way more chill office hours.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to steal Fatima and Dieter. They're the underpinnings of your.
You can't steal them.
We'll see.
You're not going to get steal them. They're just not for steal. They're not stealable.
We'll see.
Oh, that's interesting. Would you ever consider George Chu, dude?
He has
your
great
questions, dude. Your question game's awesome, man.
George, will you just give me 52 topics that I can write for my blog for a year? I'll give you credit at the top of every
Oh my
single
god, that's a great idea.
People gave me some last year.
George, can you, for time, for me as well, we need topics for the YouTube channel. I don't think adoption would do well for our channel, but if you have other ones, like, I think you're actually really good at it.
So this is going to be the selfish portion of the Tea Time with Tynan. I would not consider adoption.
Why does it have to be self? Why do you have to make something negative? You know?
Well, I just want to, because it is. I think that, I think that it's such a wonderful, selfless thing to do, to adopt, and I think I'm too selfish to do it. I think that I don't know exactly why. I guess I've got theories and probably some reasons that it's very common for adopted kids to have like major issues that impact the parents. And my life is just too good and I don't want to mess it up. And I feel bad saying that, but that's the truth.
Well, I think there's a bigger, broader one. I went on it for about a year. I only dated adopted girls. Like, I just ended up finding girls that were adopted.
I thought you were like adoption Tinder.com or something like
No,
that.
I think I liked the idea of like their struggle and their story and the narrative of their, but I will say a lot of them have some deep things because it's like, who am I? Why did someone give me up? Who am I? I think there's the broader question of adopting, and as well as for you, I think the child, having children.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think we're gonna have children, so like that's like a whole extra level. Maybe I'm so selfish. I won't even have my own kids.
Why is it selfish?
Well, it's selfish because I'm prioritizing my own lifestyle over like raising the next generation. That's selfish for sure. And I don't think it means like I'm a selfish person at my core or whatever, or maybe it does, but like I think we all make some decisions that are selfish, obviously, because we haven't just all given away everything. I think that's one word for sure. I'm being selfish. Better to accept it than pretend it's not.
I think I would personally like to have kids. I want to. I would try to have it myself. If I couldn't, then I would.
I want to have kids.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be Uncle Tynan for sure. That'd be great.
Good luck on it. I'll bring her on air. If you guys wanted to see her, she's in Rude. She is a realtor, former Miss Nevada.
It's pretty good.
Dude, she pulled a boss move this morning. She was like, I was like, hey, I'm doing tea with Tynan from 11 to 12. She's like, I'm free from 11 to 12:30. I was like, we can't make it. She's like, I'm going to come at 12:15. We're going to have 10 minutes.
Nice.
One, that could be creepy if I didn't like her. But I was like, dude, that's hardcore. I like that attitude. I really admire that.
I like that too. Hustle. Maybe we can talk to her about this. I went to one of the pageants, Miss America. It was awesome. It was so fun. And the question and answer part is the best. I went with Jimmy.
Okay.
We loved it. The question and answer part, I would watch like, it was amazing. Like, for sure we just thought we were going to see girls in bikinis and all that. And that part's also great. But the question and answers is amazing because they get totally blindsided. It's like, they stand up to answer that question. They have no idea. And some of them are really easy. And others are like, how should we fix poverty? Like literally one girl got like, how do you fix poverty? And she's on national TV. This matters to her. She's been preparing for this. And it's like, obviously she doesn't know or it would have been solved by now. Like and another girl was in the military and it was like, how has military service affected your life? It's like such a softball. And this poor girl is like, and you can tell they have tactics. We can maybe ask her about it. Where they're like, well, that's a very interesting question. It's something that I've thought a lot about. And then they have to come up with the answer. It was amazing. Damn, I want to go back to that. Let's see. Wow, so many good ones here. This would be a cool one. Do it. So I'm trying to do themes. Sometimes when I don't have a guest, I do a theme.
That's a good idea.
It'd be a cool one to do about relationships. The one reason I kind of don't write a lot about that, I guess two reasons are one, I try to keep my wife kind of private. The other one is that I've been married for not very long, and I just don't know. I feel like there's a good chance that I'll say things that sound really naive 5 years later. Maybe it's still valuable for the first few years or something.
I think that's a thing where when people talk about getting married, they always say congrats. I only say congrats if they've stayed married.
Oh, 100%.
Like someone told me a few days ago they've been married. Oh, Ryan, the guy we had lunch with, he's been married for 8 years.
Yeah,
I was like, congrats. Like, and you seem happy about it.
That's why I wasn't that into the wedding. I'm like, dude, what are we celebrating? Like, this is a decision we made. We'll see how it works out. I think it'd be cool if you had no wedding. I guess we basically had no wedding, but then you had like a 5-year awesome congratulations for saying it's sort of like birthdays. That's why I don't celebrate birthdays because I don't do anything. Give my mom a present if you want.
100%. I've always thought that.
It's kind of an interesting idea. I'd love if you made some kind of community for your fans who want to move to Vegas.
Or just for people in Vegas. Doesn't have to be for fans.
No, I guess I read this differently. But yeah, to make a forum or something where they could all get in touch, like people who wanted to move. Everybody reads my blog should move to Vegas.
It's actually really interesting. Andrew Chen, you know. Anyways, he came to Austin for a month, and he started a WhatsApp group, and he invited all of his smartest friends. He said, hey, you guys invite your smartest friends in Austin? And now it's this awesome tech group of really interesting people.
That's cool. I like WhatsApp groups.
So WhatsApp groups might be an interesting one. So Jeremiah, start it up.
Yeah, good point. Jeremiah, start it up, send me the info, and I'll put it on the blog.
Or you can do it in the office.
Yeah, the blog gets a lot more readers. Let's see what else we got.
Oh, dude, a lot of people want a community hub.
I know this is something I have to do, and I just don't know which one.
It's also though it's a lot of work, and then keeping them active, and a lot of those died out.
That's what I'm worried about. Like I made one for alumni of in-person events, and like for the first month, it's awesome. They're all like keeping track, and then now nobody posts.
Well, like we're in 2 WhatsApp groups, and like honestly, they're almost dead. The 2 we have the crypto and then the regular. Like it's not actually that active.
Oh, I think those are pretty good. I like those ones.
I mean, they're just not talking.
Yeah, it's all right. What's this? Community hub with other regions in Europe. Wait, which one? General community hub. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I just don't. I want to make it something that's gonna be valuable and stick around because I haven't quite figured it out yet. Yeah, look at that. This audience is more geeky than your audience for sure. Oh, look at that! Stole one of your people. Moving from Austin instead of Austin, moving to Vegas. Marcelo's going places. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I don't know why, but I really like this guy.
There's something about him. I don't know if it's the alliteration in his name. Yeah, I see Austin as a place where it's like Tesla. It's like Tesla. It's an awesome company, a little overvalued.
I would agree.
Whereas I think Vegas is like Ethereum, or maybe
I think like Salt Lake City, Vegas. There's these cities that are just like not talked about, but are amazing.
It seems like there's some in North Carolina too. Like
Asheville,
Idaho. I feel like there's like places in those that I don't even know about. There's maybe
Boise, Idaho is one of like the highest like rents or prices have gone up.
Yeah. Oh really? Yeah. Well, I've heard good things about that. Let's see.
Oh yeah, they should just try to help each other in the comments, like Link is doing.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is George a bot?
I don't know.
Do you think he's like he
look at how many good questions
he just goes to Reddit and he goes like ask me a question.
George, email me questions that I'll write blog posts for things that you ask me about.
We literally talked about this for like what, an hour last night?
Yeah, we did. I love China. Oh, so asterisk. I love Sichuan and the cool like remote like nature things like Omei Mountain, Huashan, went to Wuyi Mountains for tea, which even if you don't care about tea was really awesome. I think that this is what we're talking about, is that there's so much natural beauty in China that's totally underrated. Whereas like cities like Beijing, I think are like just not that great, overrated. I think I meant underrated for the natural. Yeah, Shanghai I think is pretty cool. You know, you just went there.
It's not my crowd. No, if I smell that. No, China, you know what's funny? I think when I went on a date with a Chinese woman, and I hung out with you guys last night, and I think there's just like really bad stereotypes about China.
Yeah.
There's just so much bad propaganda, and honestly, it was beautiful and nice and like honestly exciting.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they have this and they have this, and you're like, oh, maybe China's not as bad as like we're taught it is.
I think it is a really exciting place. Like you feel like stuff is happening in China, right?
It's like the biggest startup in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
There's like, there's a bunch of babes and dudes to pick from, if you're into Chinese guys or girls.
Right.
And there's a lot to offer there.
It's so funny because there's all these things that we don't know about. Like I was talking with my wife and her friends, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Chongqing, that's where all the most beautiful girls are." It's like, who would ever know? Like you would just never know that. And it's like,
oh, is that serious?
Yeah. Chongqing is actually it's a city in Sichuan, and it's sort of like where we might be like, oh yeah, like all the hot girls in the U.S. are in LA or something. It's all Chongqing. That's where they're all.
Can she bring a dog in?
Oh boy, I hate dogs. Yeah,
it's a baby little dog.
Yeah. All right. We have Noah's 10-minute date. Should I give her some tea?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, hang on one sec. Let me get the teacup. And for anybody checking in now, it's probably super weird. All right, let me get her a chair. Hang on one sec. All right, there we go. So let's see. So Noah's outside getting this 10-minute date. Yeah, next is a live. Next date place. I'm not sure. This is gonna be pretty interesting. Oh wow, Couch from Fried Okra. Hey, why is that your name? I feel like I never want to say your name because it's so annoying. What's up, Jonas? New startups help you do real estate with friends. They're doing it wrong. I forget what they're called, but basically they're all super expensive. And so it's like $250,000 to own a share of one of these things. And I just think that it's going to change out. It's going to totally change the dynamic, and it just like doesn't make sense in the way that ours do. I'm not really worried about cancel culture because, for one, cancel me, like, who cares? I think my readers are still going to read. I'm not like so famous that it actually matters. I hate cancel culture. Big not fan of it. And, you know, I've written about enough controversial stuff that I feel like those people, you know, they have enough to write about anyway. All right, here we go.
With kimchi.
We have Noah with kimchi. How's it going?
How are you?
Good, how are you? All right, come on in here. You can sit there.
Oh, sweet.
You're about to be on our weird live stream.
Okay.
My blog readers.
It's a weird live stream.
No, it's not weird.
Okay.
It is weird. Would you like tea?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Great. Okay. Should I just get in here?
Sure, they
This is so
switch cups. Come
So
on.
my friend Cody introduced us. Do you want to introduce yourself to?
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go. Go
are
for
we
it.
on right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa.
That was great intro.
Great intro.
That was the intro of all intros.
Okay.
I feel like I believe her. I feel like everything she said was
Well,
true.
what- water,
what's
anything,
the,
or
like,
settle?
oh, no, this is great.
There you
Thank you. Well, what are you guys discussing?
What are we discussing? China, cryptocurrency.
Oh, we talked about being beauty pageants.
Oh yeah, we talked
Did they
about.
ask you a question? Do you know a question they asked you on stage?
Wait, so
My
which one
onstage
were you in
question.
first?
So I was Miss Las Vegas, and then I was Miss Nevada, United States.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with like the main systems, Miss America, that's all the talent portion. You age out at 24 in the Miss America organization. So, you know, after 24, if you're not married, you like fall off a cliff, right? So Miss America, 24. When I competed the Miss USA pageant, which was the one owned by Trump, that one you age out at 26 as a Miss. So again, if you're not married like after 26, you know, I don't, you like disappear.
Oh, you can't be
So-
married?
Yeah, Miss MISS is like single, not married, never had any
Oh,
children.
I didn't know that.
I never
Yeah, so there's
That's
like
it?
Miss, Mrs. There's all kinds of different divisions. And so I was Miss Nevada, United States. So Miss United States is the old lady one because 29 is the age cutoff for that one.
Oh, okay.
And then I competed at 28. So I was the oldest contestant. I was like the dark horse. I was not supposed to win. But I competed because my mom is a former Miss Korea. And so she called me,
That's cool.
yeah, in fall of 2013, and she was like, "Are you competing for Miss Las Vegas?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm kind of busy. I just started a company, like, you know, like I know what's going on." She's like, "Well, you're getting ready to age out," and I was like,
Sounds like a Korean mom.
"Yeah." I was like,
I feel like they would say that if you weren't competing, it's like, you gotta find a boyfriend, so you're about to age out of this whole
"You're
situation.
about to age out
Yeah.
of life, girl." So I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I had to buckle down. I hired a pageant coach. It was super intense.
We should hire pageant coaches.
Ooh, can we compete?
Let's compete.
Like 40-year-old dudes?
Maybe she could host it for us. And not really. Nobody wants us. Married for.
Are you
Anyway,
oh, no, now they're asking you questions.
Hi.
That's the Lisa
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Are you from Vegas?
They approve of you. That's
so
good.
I am not from Vegas originally. I moved here after law school, so I've been here 11 years, and I love it. Nevada is home.
Yes. I've been trying to convince them to move here.
Vegas is the best. I'm a huge proponent of Vegas.
So my last blog post that probably most of everybody here read was about how Vegas is
I
the
didn't
best
know
place to live.
I'm like seriously, like I think Vegas is the best place to live. It's no state income tax. Well, we had no corporate tax when I moved here, and then they instituted the commerce tax, which means you're taxed on the amount that you make above $4 million in your company. So I mean, there's a lot of run room there, but still, like that's annoying. However, we have a very, very low cost of living for like all the big city amenities that you get. We have a great airport.
That's what That's one of my big
No,
things.
we have a
It's
great
the
airport.
best
Seriously,
airport.
it's first off, it's so close by, right? And we have direct flights anywhere you want to go. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to London? Do you want to go to Paris? Do you want to go to Seoul? Do you want to go to Austin? Wherever you want to go, we have direct flights.
Look at that. What else do you love about Vegas? What do you do here? Like, what kind of activities do you like to do here?
So we have everything, right? It's like whatever you want. Like, do you want amazing food? Do you want hiking? Do you want water? Do you want to go skiing? Like, we have it all here.
Dude,
We want
she could have just written my blog post for me. These are all the things that I was saying.
And then
That's
she just post her photo on your
Subtle flex, the
Yeah.
exact, you know.
Oh,
it takes a minute to get
hey,
there.
That's
Hey.
true. Nice. All right, here, a question from Kieran. How do I get a beautiful girlfriend?
Be yourself. Just be yourself.
See, that's what beautiful girls say, by the way.
Yeah. Because it works for them. Just be yourself and be beautiful. It works out nice.
And be kind. Girls like kind.
Girls do like kind.
They don't. They like mostly kind.
I think you should
Look
be
at this. How much did I pay Lisa to get all those points? This is a total setup.
It's a total setup, in case you didn't already know.
See, this is what people are saying. Like, this is exactly the blog post. It's funny. Literally, like a few days ago, I wrote exactly.
Really?
You can ski. You can hike.
You're
no state income tax.
kidding.
Best.
That's a
Yeah. People.
I brought my dog too. Do you guys like corgis?
Oh,
I have 2 corgis. Kimchi's here today. Cupcake is at the groomers.
dear.
Oh, Kimchi!
This is the only time there's ever going to be dogs on this live stream. That's for sure.
It's the coolest life.
It is, right? It's just so much fun.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is Kimchi. And yes, she's a girl, even though I have a blue harness on her. It was the only one that fit her properly from the pet store, and that's why. But then now everyone thinks she's a boy, and I think it's like created a complex for her. But we always tell her all the time how pretty she
go to
is.
therapy?
No, she's so pretty.
And so what was your question on the I forgot what exactly
so
that
my
means.
onstage question was, what would you do to market the organization of Miss Nevada United States? Like, should you win, what would you do to market it?
That's like I would say that's like a medium to hard question. Would you agree, or how is that?
Yeah, well, because your answer could go a variety of ways, right? You could have some kind of like generalized 30,000 foot answer, right? And I just said, what did I say? I said, as a business owner, I know what it takes to build a brand, and I know how to be a brand ambassador for an organization. And so I look forward to utilizing my business acumen and my skill set to help elevate this organization and also work with the great nonprofits that we have in Nevada. So something like, I'm paraphrasing, that was a long
Such a
time
Miss
ago.
American answer.
It was something.
Is it so scary when because you don't know if you're going to get an easy question, a super hard
Like
question?
question. So here's the thing that people forget, I think, or maybe just don't realize. By the time you get to onstage question, you are a finalist.
Right.
Not everyone gets to onstage question, right? So to get there, however long you've been prepping, you're dieting, you're like, your brain cells are like not all firing anyway because your diet's depleted. I mean, like all the things, right? And you're nervous, right? You have adrenaline, whatever. And so now you're getting through like the stages of competition, areas of competition, interview, swimsuit, evening gown, and then they call the finalists. So when I competed, there were 3, they cut it down to 3. After top 10, they cut it down to 3. And so now you're like in shock because you're like, okay, like I'm inching closer, I'm improving my odds of winning, right? And so now all the pressure is on onstage question because everything else has now been judged. So this is your last opportunity. So you know that if you bomb this, there's a strong chance that you lose the entire competition.
It also seems the most out of your control because you kind of know what the other ones are going to be, but that one, like, you don't know what the question is, right? Coming in.
No, you have no
You have
clue
no
what the
clue.
question is, and it's you kind of get there's like 2 ways that it goes about. It's either out of the fishbowl, right, where you select at random, or every girl gets the same question and you go into the booth.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
So when I competed, it was the booth, which told me, okay, there's a chance I'm going to get more of a meatier question. Because when you do the fishbowl, you run the risk of getting some stupid question. If you could be a candy bar, would you do some bullshit? And then you're like, well, how can I shine with this, I think it's harder when it's fishbowl.
What candy bar would you be?
That's
We asked the hard-hitting questions.
You do
here.
ask the hard-hitting questions.
We don't mess around.
You don't mess around.
If you want to be Miss Nevada this live stream, you're going to have a good answer for this. It's you and Noah.
Wow,
We're competing.
Oh, what candy bar would I be?
Noah won swimsuit earlier when we were in hot tub, so it's pretty close right now.
Yeah, the chest hair, I just put it over the top.
Okay.
This is such a tough question, man.
It's tough.
Because there's like multiple, how do you choose? What do you base it on?
I don't know what should go first.
Okay, so my original thought was Sour Patch Kids, but then there's
That's not even a candy bar. You're about to get disqualified from this entire competition.
okay, that was what I first thought. Then I thought probably Snickers. I think just Snickers has a lot of complexity, and so if you're like, hey, I don't want chocolate, I can just eat nuts. Yeah, I just think there's variety of it.
I was going to say frozen Snickers, like the Snickers ice cream bar, because I feel like that's
That's
such like an
a
unexpected treat when you get one of those.
That's actually a good one.
Like imagine if I said that you want a Snickers and I bust out one of those frozen ones.
And you're
That's
like,
an upgrade.
what? It's actually really good. I might steal that in the future if I ever have to use it.
Okay.
If you're on stage.
I get to wear the sash for one day.
Oh, we gotta get you a sash.
Yeah.
On what time? I don't want you to be late.
When Jimmy and I went to Miss America, we were like the only guys there and the only people without sashes, because it's like everybody was a former anything is wearing their sash around. And yeah, we were gonna go the next year and make up our own sashes, but I forgot.
Well, I have several sashes that you can borrow.
I mean, we love
I have Miss
going
Las
to.
Vegas, I have Miss Nevada, I have Tropic Beauty, I have a couple sashes.
The Tropic Beauty is a little more gender neutral. I prefer that one.
Maybe.
Is that the one for the sunblock or suntan lotion?
Yeah, it's a suntan lotion company. Yeah, exactly. But they would do these kind of tournaments. It's pretty competitive. But I modeled while during college and law school, so that's how I got involved with Tropic Beauty. They're a great organization.
See, I should have done that so I can fit part of it. Look at that. It's like she snaps into like a pageant. Wonderful
She knows
organization.
which angle to hit. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, 30 degrees.
It's an angle swimmer on you and I.
I know.
I even cut you out of the frame, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, kimchi.
All right, I think we're just about done for today. All right. Well, so, all right, hold on. Before she answers, I want to say this is like the 10th brew, so you want to keep it. All right. Is this
Okay.
tea really that good?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I mean, considering it's been, right, it's been several times over, so maybe I'm getting like a little of like a weekend version, but I'm still into it.
Okay, here's a good one. What's, are you two, this is the date. This is
Wait,
the,
what is that?
so Zach is asking, are you
What
going
is
on a
that?
date? This is the date. This is a normal first date would be
Yeah.
come on a random YouTube
So-
show. And what's the perfect first date? I bet
Oh, that's
I have a prediction for what you're going to say. How can I? All right. Go ahead.
Here, do you want to tell me?
I'll tell you here. Come over here while she thinks and you composes with that. Okay.
They're like whisper. You can't see this.
That's my prediction.
That was the best date idea I think I've ever heard.
We should have given you the your
Oh, okay, so
okay, you really
listen,
finish
what would
it.
be if we were to do a perfect first date? What would that be?
Kimchi chips and
Wait, what?
I went
Kimchi
dog
chips?
for it.
Dude, Kimchi's good. This is a great dog.
Kimchi's good girl.
Oh. All right, so perfect first date.
Perfect first
And then after that, we're done. This is the last question. Perfect first date. A lot of pressure.
Bingo. Micro. Sorry.
How should I have?
No, I guess just something that's like where like you can actually talk to each other, right? Like you remember like in college and like someone would take you to the movies and then you're like, I don't even like know what your last name is. And I just spent like 3 hours with you because we
You
were just
need the
sitting
last
movie
name
theater.
so you can stalk them online, right?
But this is before Facebook actually. Facebook came out my last year of college and dating myself. Ugh.
That's why I always did tea for the first date. 'Cause then you can actually talk. There's no distractions. That was my first date.
I like to incorporate alcohol on my first
Oh, Tynan doesn't drink.
Yeah, I don't drink that. Wouldn't work for me.
alcohol. What about like alcohol cupcakes? That's what I should have brought. I have a company called Sin City Cupcakes and we make boozy cupcakes.
Look at this. She came on here just to push
That's
this
what
stuff. All right, Boozy City Cupcakes.
Sin City.
Since
Sponsoring the show.
they sponsored the show. Don't drink; it's bad for you.
That's not true.
That is true. Okay,
Oh.
you're off.
Well,
You're off the
You're
show. We're all off the show. All right, we're gonna go now. Thanks for joining, everybody. It's good to see you. Thanks for being our first ever
Kimchi.
third guest. We've never had more than one other guest. All right, guys.